This week on Storyboard, we are catching up with Rajneel Kumar, Business Head Expansions Project and Head Products at Z5 India, about their newly launched homegrown short video platform HiPi and whether it will be able to fill the market gap after TikTok is banned in the country. Only 28% Indian consumers trust ads, want government to create an advertising code and regulate misleading ads, says a recent report released by local circles. We are catching up with Sachin Taparia, Chairman and Managing Director at Local Circles, to find out more. And we are also speaking with Chetna Soni, Category Leader, Feminine Care PNG, Indian Subcontinent, about their newly launched initiative, Mobile Shala. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. This week, Z5 revealed the name of the much-awaited and India's first ever fully homegrown short video platform, HiPi. This announcement comes right after the government announced a ban on 59 Chinese apps, including TikTok. Ankita Saxena speaks to Rajneel Kumar, Business Head Expansion Projects and Head Products at Z5 India, about how prepared are they to milk this grand opportunity. Listen in. Hi Rajneel, welcome to CNBC TV 18. Many thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Ankita. Pleasure to be here.
Rajneel, there's no better time to announce the launch of a short-form video platform than now. Now that the Indian government has imposed a blanket ban on 59 Chinese apps, including TikTok. Now, the users, of course, will be looking for alternative platforms, and your announcement comes strategically right after the ban on these apps. Was this announcement planned, and how do you hope to milk this grand opportunity now that TikTok's status is stuck in a limbo?
Ankita, I think these are ecosystem changes which we had not anticipated. We have always had a strategy of being a super app for Z5. This journey started almost 2 years back when we launched various different content pieces and engagement platforms on Z5, including a hyper casual gaming platform called Play. As far as the hyper shorts is concerned, which we just unveiled the name yesterday, which is HiPi, we have been on this for a little over a year now, which involved both consumer insights, it involved study of content that the users were using, and then of course the understanding of the competition in the market and the product and tech that they were, users were happy with or unhappy with. And we have been building this out. Even before this announcement came, our product was already in beta and under closed user group testing to refine the final one. So it just seems that the stars aligned. And we are looking forward to the HiPi coming out and the users migrating onto the platform.
Right. Rajni, you're calling it a super app. You're calling HiPi a super app. So tell us about the features. What can the consumers expect from this, and how long are the videos on this platform going to be?
Sure. As far as the super app is concerned, like I was mentioning, it is a super app with various different types of content pieces, right from television content to original programming, to live TV, news, music videos, food, and like I was saying, we launched the hyper casual segment, which is Play on the platform. And now with hyper shorts coming in, what we have been working on is creating a very deep AI and ML layer to hyper personalize the journey of the user on the platform. And when the user actually comes within the HiPi platform, again, we're using a lot of data as well as AI technologies to be able to understand what is the content pieces that they are enjoying and be able to show them more. Similarly, for users who create content on the platform, we have made it extremely simple and easy to use, so that it is not a very steep learning curve for the users that they need to go to. They can migrate on the platform and they would pretty much know everything that they need to do. However, we have also introduced some very specific pieces around filters and effects that will be very unique to our platform.
Rajneel, why did you feel the need to launch a platform like this within the Z5 app? Why not have a separate app for it?
Right. This is again a strategic decision we took over 2 years back. When you look at the Indian ecosystem and you look at the kind of handsets which are available in the market with the majority, these are quite low price. They have issues with regards to the memory. They have issues with regards to the space and the computing power that a user has available. We want any of the products that we make, we want to democratize it for the entire audience and not specifically targeted to one kind of user on the platform. And in this case, only for users who have smartphones with extremely high memory and processing power. So the idea that Z5 has been moving towards with the super app is that this should be the one-stop destination on which we will have all the use cases that a user would ideally, typically want to be engaged through his entire day. And that's how the super app versus different apps on the platform. To make this happen, we have been working on making sure we have the right technology to support this. We have been making sure that we have the app that works effectively on all types of devices and is light enough to be on the platform.
Rajneel, for now, the app is free with an ad supported format. Will this eventually give way to a more subscription driven service? How do you plan to monetize it?
As far as HiPi is concerned, it is completely free for the user. The app is Z5 app is free to download. The HiPi product by itself within it is free. As far as the monetization is concerned, we are completely ad driven. And along with building this platform, we have been building a very strong ad suite, which includes a ad server, and it includes the self serve. So what we're trying to do is expand the base of advertisers from just going across with the large agencies and clients who run through them, or clients who want to come onto the platform directly, but opening up our entire platform to the SME market, where somebody sitting in any part of the country would be able to take a credit card and run campaigns on the platform. So that's really, because our push in on local is so high, and Z as a company has been known for being extremely local in India. Similarly, Z5 has one of the largest number of languages when it comes to content from the programming perspective and also from the news perspective. We are able to connect all of these and create a meaningful proposition for both the advertisers and the consumers.
It's very interesting what you just said, Rajneel, that SMEs just need to use a card and they can come and advertise on the platform. What kind of advertisers are coming to advertise on the platform, and what are the opportunities for the advertisers?
Okay, so once we launch the self-service platform, we already work with a very large base of advertisers, because a large part of our content on the platform currently is ad-driven, and so we work with the biggest of brands and agencies on the platform. With this push on self-serve, not only will we be able to give our primary customers and the agencies a way to have a very secure and transparent way of booking their inventory. What this will do is, imagine a couple of months later we have an influencer who is there in say in Hyderabad, and we have local brands which are maybe food brands which are influenced by what this influence which like what the influencer is doing, and the influencer operates in the category of food. The advertiser could actually come on the platform, choose the influencer that they would like to sponsor or create or get content created, and be able to complete the whole transaction sitting from their offices in Hyderabad without having to really go through any large agencies, or being able to or even making direct contact with us. So that's really the vision with which we are building the self-serve platform.
Speaking of advertisers, Rajneel, content moderation has gained huge momentum, especially with big advertisers like Unilever's Coca Cola deciding not to advertise on Facebook. And TikTok also was recently had faced a lot of backlash for objectionable content on it. What are the interventions for content moderation on your platform?
When we come to HiPi, we will have both content which is curated from influencers as well as created by the people at large, and which is UGC. What we have been spending a lot of time and effort in building is a complete moderation layer, which is based on both human as well as AI intervention. And this is something that we have over-indexed ourselves on our effort. There are platforms out there which believe only on reporting and blocking, and then they take down that content. While those features are available on this platform, what we have more focused on that those content pieces should not appear on the platform, even at the cost of being overcautious, if I may say so.
Now, Rajni, HiPi will enter a very crowded user-generated short video market, especially after the ban of TikTok. There is Mitro, there's Chingari, already with 10 million downloads. How do you hope to navigate through the competition and gain market share?
We are not making a cold start. Um, at Z5, we're already at about 80 million monthly active users. So that's a huge base of users that we are able to address with this new product coming in. So it becomes just a new offering on the platform. There is also a lot of content differentiation that we are looking at bringing on the platform.
Finally, Rajneel, the ban that the government has imposed on the apps, especially on TikTok, it's not a permanent ban. It's still under review. What if the ban on TikTok is lifted? How is that likely to impact your platform?
I think, like I was saying, we have been on this course for over a year now in building this product out. We have been not only the product out, but also the content and the process that we're putting in place. We never expected a ban, so we did not plan for a ban. We always planned for playing with the incumbents in the market. So our strategies around both features, functionalities, as well as content accounted for it.
All right, Rajneel, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Ankita. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
It is time for us to take a short break. On the other side of this break, only 28% Indian consumers trust ads, want government to create an advertising code and regulate misleading ads, says a recent report released by local circles. We are catching up with Sachin Taparia, Chairman and Managing Director at Local Circles, to find out more. Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. Only 28% of the Indian consumers trust ads, says a recent report released by local circles. Currently, misleading ads are reported and regulated through a self-regulatory industry body called as ASCII, which in fact in 2019 ordered the removal of 299 misleading ads. But the report also states that in spite of such a body being present, 80% of the consumers would rather prefer if government created a code for advertising, for penalizing and holding responsible all the misleading ads present in the market. Also, many citizens raised strong concern against Patanjali's recent ad for Coronil. To tell us more about this report, we are catching up with Sachin Taparia, Chairman and Managing Director at Local Circles. Sachin, welcome to Storyboard.
Hi, Shivani.
Your recent report suggests that consumers are looking for government intervention to hold brands accountable and responsible for their misleading ads, as compared to having a self-regulatory industry body such as ASCII. What, according to you, has propelled this sentiment currently?
What's happened basically is that, with the arrival of digital media and, a lot of social media, WhatsApp world, a lot of information, a lot of misinformation is actually getting spread. And what we are finding is that, many brands are actually now seeding information or misinformation in some cases via, WhatsApp groups, basically to kind of, reach out to the masses. And therefore, information is spreading much faster than it used to, let's say about 5 years ago, where you looked at a newspaper ad, or you were watching a TV channel, or a digital news site. So people are getting information faster, they are getting misinformation faster. And therefore, after a lot of inputs that we received from consumers from across India, Local Circles decided to conduct this survey, where we basically thought, let's get what is really the trust level that consumers have in advertisements today. And then we asked more questions and more questions, and finally what it came out was that, look, while we may have an industry body out there which is trying to self-regulate, the challenge is that the awareness of such an industry body is completely non-existent in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, or even rural India. Number two, there are really no penal clauses if there is a misleading ad. Like, for example, to share with you, we have a GST anti-profiteering authority. So when there is GST rate being changed or reduced, and the benefits don't go to the consumer, the profiteering authority kicks in basically and penalizes the brand for the error made of not passing on the GST benefit. We don't have such penal provisions in the law today, where if somebody does misleading ad and let's say earns an excess or has an earnout of 250 crores, let's say, from that particular product, where consumers were misled, there is no penal clause to actually return that 250 crores back to the consumer or the government.
ASCII during the past couple of years has done a lot of progress and improvement. For example, they have made this entire process much quicker as compared to what it was. They have used tech in a great way. They have found out a way to make even the endorsers such as the Amitabh Bachchans, Madhuri Dixit and Shah Rukh Khans of the world responsible and accountable, and found out a way to penalize them for supporting a misleading claim by a brand. But still, there are several loopholes. So what really needs to be done to ensure consumer safety and make this entire process really tight?
So I think, Shivani, what ASCII has done so far was a good step one, according to me. Now we need to kind of take, the fight against misleading advertisements into mainstream. And when I say mainstream, I think the ability to complain, the ability to escalate issues, now needs to go from India to Bharat. If you go to, tier 2, tier 3 towns, there is literally, very little awareness about ASCII. There is lots and lots of ads that are, state level ads, local ads, whether it is about solving a particular health issue, whether it is hair loss issues. There is somebody offering a solution which misleading claims are actually being made, and it's in the local, the walls, the billboard, the local media per se. And it's one of those things which is actually not even coming to the notice of ASCII. So therefore there is the need to bring this into mainstream. Let the consumers, complain electronically, let them complain easily. And when they submit a complaint, it should not be just about that, yes, we have written to that brand and they will be taking that advertisement off. It has to go to the next level, that they're going to be taking that advertisement off, number one. Beyond that, there are penalties, serious penalties, depending on whether there are health implications, whether there are implications of loss of life, financial implications to the consumers, and the magnitude of the problem.
All right, Sachin, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us.
Most welcome.
It is time for us to take a short break. On the other side of this break, we are speaking with Chetna Soni, category leader, feminine care, PNG, Indian subcontinent, about their newly launched initiative, Mobile Shala, and we are also speaking to her about Whisper's efforts to spread the message of menstrual hygiene. Welcome back, you're watching Storyboard. Moving forward with the Keeping Girls in School movement, Whisper has launched Mobile Shala, an initiative to provide free education while schools across the country remain closed. Mobile Shala is a phone-based learning system that gives access to curriculum-based education modules on key subjects such as English, science, and menstrual hygiene education. To popularize the initiative, Whisper has also released a short video capturing this initiative. Today we are catching up with Chetna Soni, category leader, feminine care, PNG, Indian subcontinent, to tell us more about this particular campaign. Chetna, welcome to Storyboard.
Thank you, Shivani. Thanks for having me here.
Can you give us an insight into Mobile Shala?
Sure. Whisper as a brand has empowering young girls and women at its very core. And over the last 30 years of our existence in India, everything that we have done as a brand has been to further that endeavor, whether it be using our advertising voice, the campaigns that we've had, or really making some on-ground impact with our Whisper School Mother and Daughter Health and Hygiene program. We focused on empowering young girls and women to be truly unstoppable every day of their life, including periods. Back in February, we came up with Keep Girls in School as a movement. And the one startling fact that we wanted everybody to be aware of is 1 in 5 girls actually drop out of school at puberty. And the big reason for this is when they start their period, they have zero idea what's happening to them. Neither them or their mothers actually know enough about it. And they start by missing out on schools because they don't have education about periods. And more importantly, they don't have access to the right products. So with Keep Girls in School, we were really wanting to drive awareness of this startling problem and we wanted to drive action with society and partnering with them to really make a change. We got a very positive response. We were able to get a lot of awareness, and we were able to generate enough proceeds to impact 50 lakh girls. Unfortunately, that's also the time when the COVID-19 pandemic struck the country and schools across the country got shut. So one of the big things we realized is that adolescent girls who are already at such a high risk of dropping out of school became even more vulnerable. So as a Whisper team on the PNG and Leobinet side, we all came together and we put our minds together to find out a solution to this problem. And we thought that what if girls can't go to school, school can definitely come to them. And that's how we came up with the whole idea of Mobile Shala, which basically means mobile school. And it's a web-based platform. It's a platform which girls can access home using their parents' mobile phones or the phones of their family members. It has education modules related to English, maths, science, from the grades of 6th to 10th. And we've also paid a lot of attention to the languages available. So we have Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil availability. And the other thing that we've done is, apart from education modules, we've also have a curated menstrual hygiene module, so that all girls who are getting their periods for the first time during this time continue to have that access about how to take care of themselves during periods.
60 lakhs is a huge number. What are you doing with regards to the back end? How are you, for example, selecting the school teachers? How are you addressing the issues like data consumption on your platform so that more people can be reached out to? What is the back end like?
Sure, that's a great question, Shivani. And this was a question that, frankly, we were also thinking a lot about when designing the platform, right? We wanted to make sure that as many girls as possible can access it. So there are a couple of things that we have kept in mind. The first one is, as we've designed the platform, we made sure that it works not just on smartphones, but also can be accessed via the most basic feature phones that are available, so that everybody can access, irrespective of the socioeconomic class that we are talking about. Two, in terms of the complexity of resolution, internet bandwidth, we've hosted the content on YouTube, which has an automatic feature to actually adjust the resolution of the video content based on the bandwidth of the internet connection that is there. So those are two things that we've really kept in mind as we've designed. It's a very easy to use platform because, girls can choose which subject they want to study. So the subjects that we have are English, math, science, and geography, which grade they want to refer to and which language they actually want to access. The other interesting thing that we have done, and we got a lot of support from many interested influencers, is Soha Ali Khan and Bhumi Pednekar have actually come forward and pledged their support to this campaign and have recorded custom modules related to healthy, hygienic practices during periods. You also asked a question about the teachers, right? So what we've done is we've partnered with an NGO called Pratham, who has been working in the area of quality of education for the last 20 years. They have a lot of content, huge library of content actually across the elementary subjects which is available. And out of that, we've taken the 6th to 10th grade. The reason we've taken the 6th to 10th grade is, as I was mentioning, the Keep Girls in School program was targeted at adolescent girls because that is when the risk of them moving out or dropping out from school is the highest. So that's a bit on that.
What are your efforts to make truly affordable feminine hygiene products available to the masses? Because, currently, even in certain segments of the society, it is still considered as a cost. And, given the current scenario with cost cutting, with job cards, pay cards, salary cards, etc. happening, what are your efforts to make it more affordable and make it more available to the masses and not just the certain sections of the society?
Yeah, so let me start, Shivani, by sharing with you the barriers to menstrual hygiene adoption in the country. And we've talked this before, and Whisper as a brand is committed to driving 100% menstrual hygiene. And we've made a lot of efforts over the years to really drive this change. As part of our work, we've done a lot of research with thousands of girls and their mothers over the years. And what we really understood is the barrier to menstrual hygiene adoption are basically three things. There is a big barrier on awareness and education about what periods are about, how to take care of themselves in a healthy way. There is a huge lack of acceptance. To this date, periods are considered a very, very taboo topic, right? 70% of mothers of menstruating girls actually think that period blood is dirty, despite the fact that they themselves go through this process, right? So as a brand and as a country, right, the biggest things that we need to drive first are education about periods and driving acceptance about menstruation as a process and about it being very normal. Then there is definitely the aspect of access and affordability, which you mentioned. And that continues to be a barrier to driving 100% menstrual hygiene adoption. However, even within that, we see that usage of makeup, things like lipsticks, etc., is around more than 60% of the girls and women actually use that, despite the fact that it's not as essential as taking care of yourself during periods. So there is a huge, mission that we all need to drive, which is about getting the consumers, the girls and women to believe that this is an essential thing. And only after that, the concept of affordability comes, because they are spending on other things a lot more than what they need to spend on, menstrual hygiene or on sanitary napkins. And as far as Whisper is concerned, we do have propositions catering to all segments of the society. We are really committed to providing superior menstrual hygiene products to every consumer in India. And we have propositions which start at under 4 rupees a pad.
All right, Chetna, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you, Shivani.
But that is a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon.